to Paula today. It's actually a nice day. It's only like 60 degrees, overcast. Track should be good. It is an exciting day today. What is today? What is today?
Get a rip the 125. Get a ripping big bike. Something new now. I mean, I'm still probably gonna be pretty small in it because I'm still pretty small, but get used to it. First day on the 125 should be pretty fun. Might have to do some jetting with it, but it should be pretty sweet. Yeah.
So 125 has the same chassis as a 250F.
Yeah, 125 is like the same size as a 250 and it has like the same wheelbase or whatever. And then the Super Mini, you put it next to each other, but the Super Mini is a lot smaller than 125. So it's a big step going to like a bigger bike, but I'm just gonna send it, throw some fat whips on the 125.
So the Super Mini, but power to weight ratio on a Super Mini, you got probably a bike that weighs around 150 pounds. It's got probably around 33 to 35 horsepower. 125 is more like over 200 pounds, and it's only got like 5 more horsepower. So it's probably around 40 horsepower, 41. So it's not a big difference in horsepower, but you have a bigger bike, heavier chassis, just all bigger. So at the end of the day, the key is to make a transition from a mini bike to a 250F. A lot of these kids are just going straight from mini bikes to 250Fs. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of people don't have the 125, a lot of manufacturers, so people just have to jump from the mini to the big bike. I'm not a big fan of that. It's just like back when I raced, you would never go from a 80 or Super Mini to a 250 two-stroke or whatever. You just wouldn't. No one ever did that. So it's a good transition. And I feel like I've been riding mini bikes for a long time. Like, how long have you been riding mini bikes?
Since 2010.
I would say you've been racing...
since I was 7, so that's 7 years ago I've been racing mini bikes for 7 years. And then you think about it, once you get on a big bike, you go 250, you're going to be on it for another 7 to 10 years on a big bike once you go pro.
Yeah, hopefully you think maybe you'd be on a 250F for 5 or 6 years, and then you go to a 450.
Yeah, do your stuff in the amateurs, get your titles in the 250, and then move to 450.
Yeah, so you'd probably do 1 year. What would be the route on a 250?
So if I do 250 after Loretta's, then...
Dude, nice guy. Here we go. We got an accident waiting to happen here, buddy. Here we go. Alright.
So the plan would be if I go 250 after Loretta's next year, because Loretta's just happened, so you race a Super Mini at Loretta's, ride 125 and Super Mini all the way up until there, so I'm used to the big bike, get a 250 after Loretta's, and then race 250B, and then do 250A the next year. Or, do 250B 1 year, 250A the next year, and then go pro, like 18.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good route, but just depending on how advanced you are, I guess, and how it works with riding with the other guys on the team to see where you're at on times and speed. There's no rush. You don't want to rush too hard to get to the pro ranks, because once you're there, you're there.
Yeah, but I'm not rushing it because kids are already going pro in like 2 years, and it's just be getting on the 250.
Yeah. I think some kids are riding pro at 16, 17.
Yeah, what did Jet do? One pro at 16, I would just be getting 250B at 16.
Yeah.
So I should be perfect. Turn 18, get in the class, do my, hopefully, a few years, win a championship, 1 or 2 championships, and I can move up to 450.
Yep. So we're on our way to Paula to first time ride on a big bike, or on his own big bike. He's ridden my 450 and my
Bork's the
stuff,
450.
and riding my bikes, but never really had his own bike as far as a big bike. So we got this 125 from KTM. It was actually one of Owen's bikes. So we grabbed that, framed it, rebuilt it, twisted, did the motor on it, I know they were like, oh, just leave it stock. I'm like, you don't want to leave it stock. Like, stock 125 is a dog. So, especially when you're at that high a level of riding, that you really need the bike to be crisp and react good. It just gets a little dangerous if the bike doesn't perform as good as you need it to. So, got the motor done, suspension, WP did it. WP's been really good helping us out now, and just getting the factory, straight to the factory service suspension. So that's a big advancement for Haiden for sure. And now we'll start hopefully making some moves forward, making some paces to the end goal of racing pro, because it's cool running around doing all the amateur races, but let's be honest, I think he's won enough amateur titles that proved the point, and now it's time to start looking at the big picture and run around the country spending thousands of dollars to camp out for a week at these amateur nationals and getting 5-lap motos. It's not really preparing you for racing professional motocross. And that's why Jet Lawrence transferred into pros so good and so young at an age of 16, being prepared and able to run the pace on rough tracks and long motos, is because he was in Europe, running the series in Europe where they let the youth race with the pros on pro day. It's very, very good system how they do that, and they should be doing that here in America. Really having a pro-am class at the nationals, getting these kids ready, because there's no secret, we're getting whomped by the Euros in motocross because they got it figured out. They have a good system.
How like a friend is.
Yeah, I mean, they keep coming over and winning all our titles. Like, haven't we had enough of that? Like, the French guys coming over, whooping up on us, and coming from the GPs. They're just tougher. I'm not saying they're tougher, just born tougher. They became tougher by running a tougher series, that rougher tracks, longer modes.
Fernandez crashes down the hill mid-moto and just weeds himself and get right back to his feet and back up, straight to the front.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain toughness, because in Europe, man, if you crash and pull off, it's like you better have something broke on your body.
Yeah,
if you're
Hurlings came back the next day or whatever with a broken collarbone.
The next race,
Next race, dude. What was it, a week?
Yeah, leading the points.
Had surgery on his shoulder, came to the race next week and won the championship, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to talk crap, but I think James Stewart was probably one of the best guys to ever ride dirt bike, straight gnarly talent. There's some point of his career where he just started like quitting, like when he'd get crashed, he'd just pull off, or like, to me, that, I mean, there's a lot of things in motocross that are negatives, but I feel like that's probably one of the biggest negatives. Like, you can never start that. Like, once you do it once, it makes it easier to do it again. That's just how it is in life. Once you quit, the second time quitting is as hard, so you just can't do that. Like, you don't work that hard your whole life to get to that point and give up. It's, you know, like I said, you crash, the goal is to get up as fast as you can, because you win your championships on your bad days. That's how it always works. So, anyhow, head to Paula here, pulling in, and have a fun day of moto. No pressure. I remember the first day I went from 80 or Super Mini. I don't think I had a Super Mini. I had an 85 mod bike. And to a 125, and I remember it was fun, but we really took my time to like kind of ease into it and get used to it, because when that bike swaps, it's not as easy to pull back straight when that bike gets swapping and the head shake and stuff. Everything's a lot heavier. But so today's just an easy day, having fun, taking your time to get used to the bike, because we have time. There's no big rush. No big rush, that's for sure. So anyway, we're just pulling in, and I'll get after it.